everyone. 8:02 on May 12th. Get started with our Building and Grounds Committee meeting. Take attendance by Mrs. Hunsaker.
Mr. Steve Holland. Ms. Joy Beers.
Present.
Mr. Wayne Wentz. Mr. Kyle Spots.
Present.
Mrs. Tina Champ.
She is on as a attendee, it looks. Yep.
Ms. Patricia DeNicola. And Mr. Jonathan Cleaver.
Go back to Steve.
Present.
Mr. Steve Holland.
Here.
And Mr. Wayne Wentz.
I'm here.
Okay. At this time, we will do our Pledge of Allegiance. So please rise. Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
And justice for all of us.
Do we have any public comment on the agenda at this point?
I'd like to make a comment.
At this point, I do have one comment. Mr. Bradley does have a comment on the agenda.
Okay.
Prior to this meeting.
Mr. Bradley, are you able to hear?
Yep, I am.
Okay.
Okay. Prior to this meeting, where was this agenda published? And who created it? Wayne, Steve, Joy, you're the board members. Where was this agenda published and who created it?
Dave, this is Joy. I do not know who created it, and I have no idea where it was published other than on the school website.
When did you get it?
I'm not sure. I mean, I went to look for it last night, so that's when I saw it.
I was unable to find it on the school website, so I'm glad you were at least able to find it. I'm just wondering, why is this agenda missing the fact that the AFR was published and Ms. DeNicola announced yesterday in the finance meeting that the buildings and grounds was almost $1 million over budget. And I'm just curious as to why that's not part of this agenda, especially with the financial strife that this district is in.
I don't recall from that meeting saying anything about buildings and grounds being.
Yeah, well, that's because you are an obstructionist. The term used in the meeting, sir, was maintenance. So that would be considered under buildings and grounds, sir. Try to work together for this district. Thank you.
Hey, can someone tell me more about this $1 million overage? Since I did not participate in the finance meeting, I don't know about it, and I would like to know more.
I am not sure, Ms. Beers, what he's referring to. I know we talked yesterday at the finance meeting about the AFR and, the ending amount. But as far as, I don't know, I don't recall building and grounds and those type of things being mentioned, but I may be incorrect. So I'm really not sure.
Mr. Cleaver, you're the superintendent of the
Okay,
entire
so-
school.
so,
how is hello? Are you
Can
there?
you tell me what AFR means?
The annual financial report. They are posted on our website.
Okay, so
I mentioned that.
that's what I thought, but I just wanted to make sure. So we are $1 million over budget on the AFR, or $1 million over for just one segment?
$3.4 million, Joy.
I'm not sure. I'm not
Have you
100%
muted me?
sure what he's referring to, but we were over. Yes, in the AFR, you'll see where money was overspent, in different areas.
Well, just to clarify, the agenda was sent out to the committee members on Thursday via email.
But not open to the public? Did you guys silence my microphone, Mr. Cleaver? Who's running this meeting?
All right, Mr. Spots, I have no other participants at this time have comment that I see.
We'll move on then with the agenda. Old business, admin roof leak. I know that was discussed at our March meeting, and we're still evaluating the options with that. Obviously, with everything that transpired, it kind of got pushed back a little, but we will kind of explore our options with that. I know we were in contact with a few companies just to get us some ideas of what some options are. Obviously, given the price and items involved, that would probably have to, go out to bid, given the amount involved on that project, if we should pursue it. Cell phone tower request. I believe there's pictures of what the cell phone tower would look like, Mr. Cleaver, if you could scroll down to that. I know they're a little dark on there, but you could see it attaches to a telephone pole and basically extends vertical up the length of the telephone pole. So I know this was discussed at a previous meeting, and the committee wanted to know basically what the tower looks like. In the photos, it would not necessarily expand above the existing telephone pole. It would just run vertical the length of the telephone pole, and it would be attached directly behind one of the telephone poles behind the home bleachers, which you can kind of see in this photo. These are our home bleachers, the press box there located, and then it would be on the telephone pole between the two light poles. So that's what they were looking to do. Mr. Cleaver, correct me if I'm wrong, they would compensate us for the installation, or they would cover everything and compensate us for basically allowing to use our property for the cell phone tower.
Yes, they would pay us a rental fee based upon the amount of reception and how well the service improves.
If that's something that the committee is okay with, we could reach out and get some more numbers as to looking exactly how much we'd be looking at receiving. I think the only concern based off the March discussion was the look of the tower, what it would look like. So I hope you have a better idea of what the tower would look like. Again, it just would run vertical with the telephone pole. Would the committee like me to get some more numbers from I believe it's AT&T as to what we'd be looking at receiving?
Kyle,
Yes.
I have one question. Maintenance on this, how does this go about? Is this going to affect anything with different programs that we may be having at that time, that they're coming in with equipment and blocking up that road?
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I will get some more information on the maintenance aspect and what kind of interruptions we could expect from our facility usage.
Thank you.
And then I'll report back to the committee with some more information on that. use of facilities from PIA. I know this was discussed at a previous meeting. Typically, our rental costs for PIAA, District 11, Schuylkill League to host playoffs cover our expenses for that event, whether it's, all our workers, all of our, any staff member that works, any rental fee, any security, police, ambulance, anything that's required by us that we would normally use to host an event. The entity that we are hosting the event for, Schuylkill League, District 11, PIAA, we generally just try and offset our costs so that we're not accruing any additional costs on those. Schuylkill League, we pay dues by sport. The dues are very minimal. District 11 covers all our dues for PIAA, so we try and work, when we come up with these numbers and rental costs with the business office, we try and work with that to make sure that our dues are covered. Because the District 11 does cover a lot of our costs to the PIAA. So our intentions all along are to cover the cost from hosting and make sure that the district does not accrue any additional costs from hosting these events. High school, middle school are basically lumped together. They're the same process right now. Right now we are into our summer cleaning mode with school shut down. We've had teachers in their classrooms based off CDC requirements to get the stuff out of their classroom that they won't need for the rest of the summer. And then we've been doing locker cleanouts in the middle school, and the high school has been completed. And the elementary center is beginning today, I believe, or tomorrow. I can't remember which day. So we are working through those buildings to get that stuff cleaned out, and we are working on our summer cleaning. All of our custodian maintenance staff is working, and our part-time cleaners are back working in the buildings to get that stuff cleaned and addressed. So we're doing the cleaning and seasonal maintenance, painting classrooms, just handrails, so on and so forth, just the regular summer maintenance that we do each year. And we've had some of our contracted services in the buildings to do their preventative maintenance as well. So we're moving on with those buildings, prepping them for summer. Elementary center, same thing. We are doing our summer cleaning, classrooms, common areas, seasonal maintenance. In addition, we have the automated logic service agreement that was discussed at the March meeting. This is a similar contract service agreement that we have for the other two buildings, the high school and the middle school. I believe all the committee members have a copy of this. Again, this is very, very similar to what we have in the other buildings and what we've had. Automated Logic has been working with us for the elementary center, and their contract for the new construction has expired. So we would have to entertain this service contract with them if we would like them to continue providing the service similar to they do at the other buildings. The scope of the service is outlined in the proposal, detailed description of the work, the network analysis, hot water system, the air handling units, the VAVs, free stat monitoring, air conditioning, generators, and so on and so forth. So it's pretty detailed in there what the scope of the work is and what's all included.
Question?
Yep.
Okay, I see the cost is a little over $31,000 per year. Did we get other bids on this from anyone, or is this like the only group that handles something like this?
We have not gotten any bids. This was sent to us by them because of the expiration of their existing contract. And then familiarity with the equipment and everything else, and them already working with the district. If we want to go out to bid and pursue, I'm sure there's other avenues out there. We are under contract with them for the other two buildings until,
So we are under contract with this group for the high school and the middle school as of now.
yeah, we're under the contract with Automated Logic until July 2020, so for another 2 months. So that was a 3-year contract for both of those buildings, and basically this would put us in line with that contract, I believe.
Okay, my next question, they don't make like a package deal for the 3 buildings? I don't know if the administration building would be included, but could they not give us a package deal for all 3 buildings that maybe reduce the amount of monies that we're spending?
I think what they offered us was based on the scope of the work in each building. Obviously, the elementary center is the largest building, so
Correct.
that's where the cost is increased in that. The agreement price, it comes effective July 1st, 2020. So this would go into effect July 1 and continue for a 1-year term, basically. So I could approach them, see what our options are with it. I know they installed all the equipment. They're familiar with the equipment. They did all the work. If we want to go out to bid or explore other options, basically whatever the committee wants to do, we could do it. But I know they are familiar with the equipment, and the other 2 contracts were all under already. So, and those would expire. This would put us in line with those other 2 contracts. So that we have 1 year left on those contracts there. So this is the reason this one's only a 1-year contract, was the other was a 3-year. It would put us in line with the expiration of all 3 contracts at the same time then for each building.
So Kyle, this would put us out to 1 more year, and then we could, so currently we're out
for next school year. It expires July 2021. Yes. For the high school and the middle school, we're under contract till July 2021. This would put us under contract with them for next year only. And then at that point, if we want to, pursue other options or try and, we have that flexibility because we would be out of contract with the other 2 buildings.
Thank you for that explanation. And with that, I'll say I have no problem with going with Automatic Logistics Services for this 1 year. Just my opinion.
Wayne or Joy, do you have any questions, concerns, or anything?
Hello, Kyle.
Yep, I can hear you, Wayne.
Okay, yeah, I'm fine with it.
Okay. Okay. And then the rest of the elementary center, we touched on summer cleaning classrooms and common areas and seasonal maintenance. Athletic fields, grounds, heating controls at the new field house. I know this has been discussed at board meetings and the last committee meeting about the heating concerns and the electricity usage from the field house, the new field house. We did run some numbers. We are down in electric usage significantly from last year, and in cost for the month of January, February, March. Our cost is down about $6,500 compared to last year. So, you know, we have done some things differently this year that seem to have worked, or at least shaved the cost. I do know, you know, that building has some issues with heating in the winter due to the design of it. We do have, you know, a couple proposals or a couple options that were presented to us. Upgrading the heating control system for basically the heating units are in each area, with ability to upgrade them and link them together. Right now, they're individual units that run on a dial that you basically have to turn and set. And then by upgrading the system, we could set it to a digital thermostat to run independently and only call for the other unit to run if needed. You know, we have a kind of a quote. We had HT Lines look at it just to see some options. I haven't, you know, Mr. Cleaver, if you could kind of scroll down, I believe there's 2 quotes here for HT Lines near the end of the attachments that you can look at. Kind of, you'll see what's entailed in there. This is the automated logic agreement that we discussed.
Hey guys, I have a question. Dave Bradley has his hand raised for quite a while here. So, you know, he might have a question or have a comment.
Yeah, we're going to open it back up for comments once we get through the agenda. Right there. Yep. So here's the kind of scope of what the proposal is. You know, there's 2 of them here. There's one for the visitors locker room and one for the home locker room. The electrical space heaters that are used basically provide a non-consistent temperature point based the way they're designed. So the upgrading control system will provide, you know, we could set it at, you know, 45 degrees and know that every unit's set at 45 degrees. It's an easier way to monitor it. And we could also link them up that if one system isn't pumping enough heat into the unit, it'll call for the other system, but both systems won't run at the same time unless needed. So it's about a $3,000 upgrade for each side. So you're looking at $6,000. Are going to reach out to some other, you know, local electricians, see if they could come up with some other ideas. So to see what we could do, or some other opportunities or other ideas out there that what we could do to kind of address our concerns. So, you know, we're still looking at that. The spring and the summer electrical usage in that building, and even in the fall, is very minimal. It's the winter that is the concerns, and it's to do with the heating. So, so we're definitely exploring options on that. Like I said, it is down, you know, roughly $6,500 from last year. But I know there's areas that we need to address there with the heating system. And so we're going to still explore with some local contractors and see what options maybe they can come up with some ideas. Or if, you know, other individuals have any ideas of what we could do. I know we've, you know, explored changing the heat source and doing some things. So we're still looking at options. It just kind of, everything's been, you know, tough to move forward with some of the businesses and stuff with everything going on right now. So.
Question again.
Yep.
Could we not get our own maintenance people involved in this with their ideas? Or are they locked out of this? I just think that we should ask our own maintenance people if they have any ideas, suggestions as to how to help us get this and you know, solve some of these issues. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Cleaver, you could scroll down to the CM Eichenlob, the recreational and fitness equipment contract. I know this was discussed at the March meeting as well, so I'm just following up with this. This is a proposal to basically perform annual mandated safety inspections on the bleacher systems in the elementary school, the high school, and the middle school. It's a preventative maintenance contract, and a lot of the issues, that would present itself would be covered under this contract. Again, this would cover the bleacher systems for all 3 buildings. We had an issue at the elementary center where we had a bolt shear that we had to call this, company in, and I don't know if that would have prevented it from coming to maintenance contract, but these are, something that covers us. We have an inspection, we have a perform inspection annually that would cover us in case something were to happen. Any discussions, concerns, or anything on this proposal to do this contract? This would be a yearly agreement, and we could probably wait until July 1 if we were to pursue this and get something inspected over the winter or over the summer. Excuse me.
Oh, this is for all 3 buildings, you said, correct?
Correct. Yep. It's right in the highlighted. You can't really see it, but it says Lehighton Area Elementary Center, Lehighton Area Middle School, and Lehighton Area High School in the first to second line of the contract, just under co-stars.
Okay, here I go again. I believe safety's number 1. My question is, do we have a company come in and inspect our bleachers at the stadium?
I do not have a proposal for a company to inspect our bleachers at the stadium at this point. This company mostly deals with the installation of, the bleacher systems and the backboards that have the moving parts, the motors, that come in and out, basically that telescope from the wall.
Okay.
That's where their specialty lies.
Well, again, my feeling on safety is, do we not have someone or a company, anyone come in and just check our bleachers at the stadium also, that nuts aren't loose, bolts aren't cracked? I'm looking at safety.
Yeah, our guys kind of before the fall season do a walk around the facility, identify any areas that need addressed or loose or tightened, so they do a walkthrough in those areas, given the amount of people on the bleacher system at the stadium. So they do that. But as far as having a company do that, we do not have anything in contract with any companies at this point.
No, that's fine. As long as we have, as long as we have someone inspecting our bleachers for issues. I like it that it's our own people too that are inspecting our equipment. Thank you.
And
I'd like
Go
to
ahead.
jump in here and just agree with Steve Holland. I mean, you guys know in the past that I've favored the idea of having our people do a lot of this work, and if they have to be trained, then so be it. Now we're investing in our people, and they're more knowledgeable and valuable.
Yeah, we could, at this point, this year, was the first year we really had an issue with the bleacher system that we needed to bring somebody outside in either of the facilities to address it. So, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say whether it's needed or not, because obviously if something pops up and it's needed, it's nice to have, the fallback of this that would cover something significant. But at the same time, it's only popped up one time that we needed it, and it was a matter of something was wedged underneath the motor and it sheared a bolt off and so on and so forth that we weren't aware of where the issue lied. So we tried to walk through with them over the phone, but fortunately they were able to come down. It was during basketball season, and they were able to come down within a day and address it and get it working properly. So we didn't really lose any time on it, but I mean, some of the systems are more intricate than the others in the facility. So yeah, I mean, we could hold off on this and kind of talk to the guys in the buildings and see see what their opinions are, if you want to go that route, and if it's something that they feel outside, or I could reach out to see if there is some type of training that we could involve our people in to get them a little more educated on this. We could do that route too. I have no issues with either. Okay, just hold off on this for now then. Equipment, our Kubota zero-turn mower had some issues this past week. We had to send it out to Ag Industrial to take a look at it, and we had basically the engine pretty much went on it, so which is never good. So before they troubleshot it, so we haven't done any work, significant work to it. They troubleshot it to get it functioning so they could at least identify the issue. The tractor was purchased in 2013 from Ag Industrial, so we sent it back to them because we figured, and they do a lot of our work out there with those type of machines. And the quote, which we just got on Friday, so that's why it's not included in your packet, was about $6,084.44 to replace the engine in the lawnmower tractor that we have. We did not give them the go-ahead to do any of that yet because I know that's a large chunk of money. Out of curiosity, I did have them quote us a comparable new tractor. Again, the tractor that is currently there that is not working is a 2013 model. For a 2020 zero-turn comparable new one, their quote is $14,381.73.
Hey, Kyle, these numbers are good. What did the original tractor cost us when we bought it in 2013?
I don't have that information off the top of my head. I could probably get that pretty easily. We could call Ag up and get some of the original information, but I don't know off the top of my head, Joy. But I will get that information to you. So right now we have the Ventrac lawnmower, we have the front deck lawnmower, and we have one other zero-turn mower that are functioning right now in their district. We had 5 at one point. One we did not replace, so we were down to 4, and then this one obviously went. Each of the mowers has their benefit. The zero turns, obviously, you can cut an area a lot faster with the zero turns, and the front deck is mostly used around buildings because it doesn't have the spray aspect out of the chute. And the Ventrac is used in other areas too, similar to zero turn. But yeah, we will find out the original cost for you. Again, this was information just kind of obtained prior to the meeting. So we just wanted to bring it to your attention of what we're looking at. Again, $6,084.44 for a replacement engine, and then comparable new one, which we probably have to go out and get 3 quotes on anyway, would be, but just to get some numbers to the committee, would be $14,381.73.
Kyle, would all the attachments we currently have work with the 2020 model from the 2013?
I would have to look into that. This would come with a 5-year or 1,200 hour limited warranty. And they 60-inch deck. It's listed here, some of the items, but we kind of just said, hey, we have a meeting coming up. I'd like to see, just let the committee know what we're looking at cost-wise to repair and what a comparable new one would cost, and that's what they came up with. So I'm sure we could call them out here today as soon as we get off and find out if everything's compatible.
question.
Mm-hmm.
Did they say as to why this motor died on us?
Originally, I know that they said it either had some water or some air in the fuel, which caused some issues. And then talking on him, he said it was running really, really hot. But as far as a exact troubleshooting cause, they were unsure. It could have been a handful of things that led to it. To giving out.
Okay, would we consider this poor maintenance on our part or no maintenance on our part? I just feel that such a beautiful piece of equipment, and I am sure our hours is not that great on that since we've cut down on the amount of properties that we have. So I'm just wondering if it's poor maintenance. Are we doing no maintenance on it?
I did ask him if
What's
there
the
was
issue?
something. I did ask him if there was something that we could have done to prevented it, and he said, it's hard to say. Based on everything he said he saw that we were doing everything we should have been doing on it, and it just happened to whether we got bad fuel or something, a little water in the fuel or whatever, but it caused the issue. They weren't exactly sure. Originally they said it was either water or air in the fuel line, and it caused a whole bunch of issues. But basically they're saying that the engine ran really hot, which caused all the issues. So,
Kyle, just according to looking back at, I believe it was $10,404 for the when we purchased that in 2013.
okay, with 10,404.
Yes. Now I don't know if that included any additional attachments,
Okay.
but just to give you an idea.
Okay.
Kyle, would they allow any kind of trade-in on the old one? Even if they only use it for parts or?
They did include a discount, a significant discount in there on their price. Originally, the price was listed about 19,700.
I was going to say that 16,000, that's a good price for a zero turn.
Yeah, it was listed at 19,700, and then there was a discount of about 5,300 applied, which factored in, the existing whatever they could use and some other stuff, and it came down to 14,381.73.
Kyle, could we look and see if we could get other quotes too?
Yeah, we could reach out to get 2 or 3 additional quotes for comparable mowers, or at least similar mowers that we could hopefully use the same attachments. We'll do some research on that, and then we can present it to the committee at our June meeting if everybody's good with that.
Yeah, that's fine with me, Kyle. We'll, get the 3 quotes and we'll go from there.
Okay. And I'll just have them hold off on repairing it at this point. Yeah, we'll just have them hold off on repairing it for this point.
Thank you for your information.
Any new business or other business that needs to be discussed before we turn it back over to comments?
Can I give new business, what I consider new business? My question is, since we don't have school right now, and of course through the summer, we were talking at one point that we were going to reseed the playgrounds on the elementary center. Can we not get I'll call a jump start on this, that we can really aerate those fields and then reseed them right away? I think we got the weather right now with the moisture and such, and I don't appreciate the cold, but we got the moisture in that before we get into warm weather, and it's not gonna grow quite as quickly. So I was just wondering if something we could get a jump start on.
Yeah, we received we ordered grass seed to do that. We got the grass seed in, I believe, Thursday or Friday last week. So we're gonna, prep the areas and get that seeded either, this week or early next week. So yeah, we're planning on doing that. We have the grass seed in house. We just received it in early or late last week.
We're also going to look at some additional areas too. I know Mr. Holland around the bank areas and stuff to, put additional topsoil there too as well from our pile we have back here to help out some of those bare spots where I don't know if the seed washed away or just didn't come in correctly.
I don't think they ever did anything on that bank. What you see is what they left us, and that was it.
Yeah, we're going to address those areas as well, but those I think will need a little bit of TLC with some extra dirt and some, maybe
Yes.
some additional, stuff there to keep it from, washing away when we do get the heavy rains.
That would be correct. New business, are we still there?
Yes.
Are we gonna replace, I remember at one time, dead trees around the elementary center? Are we gonna be replacing them, or are we just gonna remove them?
At this point, I believe there's one tree that I am aware of that did not take. We are looking to replace, that one tree that is there. It was in the aisle, I believe, there by where the school buses park. At this point,
I think we also have one tree right in the front
it's been
that was bent over quite badly right from the get-go and never did straighten out. Or is that one going to just stay there, and just let it grow the way it is? Just a question.
Yeah, I'll have to check and see. Maybe we could restake that to see if we could get it to straighten up if it's still, if it still is alive at this point.
Okay.
I will have to check on that one because I know the other ones we were talking about taking the stakes out, that are currently
Yes.
there.
Okay, new business yet? Are we going to hire summer help for the maintenance crew, the grounds crew and that? Are we going to get kids for this summer, or are we just going to go with our own gang?
At this time, we have our group in there cleaning and getting the classrooms all completed. So we have a pretty good head start on it as far as the buildings in those areas. So at this point, we're just kind of seeing where we, sit, once we get till June, and see how far we get at this point. But
Okay,
we're already doing a pretty good, and I guess, Kyle, I don't know if maybe you could give a little bit more update on, where we are with the classrooms and how cleaning and, where we're at with a lot of them.
Yeah, the middle school was the first that we kind of got to jump on due to the locker clean out. I think happened 2 weeks ago. So they're already into classrooms and waxing floors, and they've done the certain common areas that they could have access to. So they're well ahead of schedule. The high school is pretty much next, and the elementary center, we had the cafeteria re-waxed already, and they're just waiting to get all the stuff out of lockers before they can get into the classrooms too. So yeah, once we get the ability, we're working with the principals in each building to get access to areas and get a jump on the cleaning.
By the way, that was a great idea about bagging everybody's, I'll call it goodies that were in their lockers. So whoever came up with that idea about bagging everything for the individual lockers in the high school and the middle school, great idea. Thank you.
Yeah, and they're doing the same now at the elementary center. So we had a lot of positive comments, the process and how it was, how it was handled. So it was one of the positive things for sure.
Last question, I believe. Are we gonna, and I'm pushing you, Kyle, and I apologize in a way for this. Are we gonna have time maybe to paint lines on the different parking lots this year?
Yeah, last year we did the high school, so this year the plan is to update the middle school lot with the line. So last year we got the whole high school done in the summer. So, if we get a jump on this cleaning, we might have other areas that we could address, but definitely the middle school is in the plans.
Thank you very much. I'm done.
Anything else in the committee for new business?
All right, is there any other comments, Mr. Cleaver?
I have one hand raised, Mr. Bradley, and then I have another one by Mr. Stern and Ms. Bowes. So I will start with Mr. Bradley. His must have came in. Mr. Bradley?
Thank you. Why didn't this government committee, the agency, publish the pertinent documents used to make recommendations to the board? Secondly, so I don't get cut off like in the past, why did this committee fail to provide a reasonable opportunity to comment prior to those official actions taken by this committee? Next, what was the maintenance budget for the year ending June 2019, and what did this government agency spend up through June 2019 in relationship to that budget? And what does this government have in its maintenance budget for year ending 2020, June of 2020, this year? And what did this government spend so far 11 months in? So to recap, why wasn't the pertinent documents published prior to this committee meeting? And it appears that these committee members are first seeing it today on a screen in a Zoom.
I'll address all the pertinent information that's included in this packet that you're seeing on the Zoom was given to the committee members on Thursday via email. As far as your other questions, I will get the numbers of the budgets. I know this year's budget, we are well under budget, and last year's budget, I could not tell you where the numbers came from for that budget. I know there's discrepancies in the district, as you're well aware, from previous business managers, so I'm not sure where some of those numbers got put, but I'm sure we could get that information for you.
And why were the pertinent documents not published to the public like required by LASD policy? Why did they fail?
I'm pretty sure they're on the website along with everything else.
Cannot find them. Show them to me, please. Send a link. Prove that they're there. I find you in default.
Thank you.
I now have Mr. Stern. Mr. Stern?
Working on unmuting. Can you hear me,
Mr. Stern, there you go.
Okay. I have two things. Number one, concerning the bleachers, it said it was a mandatory safety inspection, which is required by building codes, Mr. Spots. If we don't have an outside agency, I believe Ms. Beers was talking about having our folks trained to do those inspections. Is that timely enough? And can we support that activity?
I'm not sure, the scope of some of the bleacher systems. The high school is the oldest one, and then the middle school, and then the elementary center. The high school we might be able to handle. The elementary center is a different animal with the equipment and the weight of that bleacher system. But it is an annual mandated full safety inspection, like it says in the proposal. So I don't know. I mean, I could try and gather some more information, try and do some independent research on what is entailed into that. And I don't know if it has to be a third party person or if we can do it ourselves. So I could definitely look into that stuff to get some further information.
Yeah, I mean, if it's internal, then it's either the person doing the inspection who has the liability or the district has the liability for the inspection process. So that can
Correct, yeah.
As well. Now, I know the other thing is for the stadium, and I know Mr. Holland brought this up earlier, is there a mandated inspection on those, or is it just because of their that they've been built recently that they don't need inspections until a certain period of time?
Yeah, I know our insurance company does a walkthrough every year, and covers some of those areas. So I think that's covered into that aspect of it. And I could even approach them to see if they would cover, the inspection of these bleachers too. So we might be able to incorporate that inspection in with this existing inspection, or the proposed one for the mobile bleacher systems that we have. So that might be something that we could reach out to our insurance company to see if that's something that they provide as well.
Okay, and then the automated logic service agreement. I think it is worth talking to, number one, automated logistics, to see if that, there's always, contracts can always be redone, and we could maybe sync these up, or if we're saying we're going to go with you for the next cycle, what kind of discount can we get if we do the bundling as Mr. Holland had discussed, or even talking to someone else. And I don't know if there's that contract with them is breakable or not, but to the point of getting all of the building systems under one maintenance agreement, we should be able to get a benefit of bulk there, if that's something that can be done. It's just a thought to throw out there to see if the contracts can be renewed and synced up at this point in time, and maybe we could, get some savings out of that.
Okay. Thank you.
That'd be all I have. Thank you very much.
I have Miss Barbara Bose to speak. Miss Bose?
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, on the subject of the field house, every year the one at the middle school is winterized. Why is not the one at the new stadium winterized?
So the one at the new stadium has a lot more moving parts, and it's a larger facility. There's a lot more units. There's a lot more toilets. There's a lot more facilities in there that are used and hold water and stuff. This year we did do some things differently, which did have a positive effect, but not to the extent that we're looking at, obviously, with having a building that's not used and paying that much to keep it heated. So there was some type of maintenance training provided years ago when that was built, but that was before my time, and there's basically no records of that here in the district right now. So we did reach out to the contractor that did the original training on that, and they were not interested in providing it with us at that point. So we did do some stuff this year that did have an effect, and consult with some other of our service contracts to see what we could come up with. And like we did save money this year compared to last year on it, about $6,500, but there's still a cost associated with that building that we could save money on for sure.
All right, well, given the cost of electric in Lehighton Borough, I personally think a lot of the cost savings was due to the fact we had an extremely warm winter. Now, is that building insulated?
Not really.
Why not?
Some areas yes, and some areas not.
That makes no sense. $6.5 million for a stadium and a field house that we heat that isn't insulated. It might be worth looking into doing that. I'm not saying it would be worth it, but it might be, especially if it cannot be winterized. Now, when you said you looked into the cost with what the rental agreements are and stuff with the PIAA and holding states and whatever in our facilities, was the cost of the electric to keep that building up figured into those costs and what we, propose as far as rental fee?
Yeah, for the most part, that is factored into it. Obviously, if you have a real cold day compared to, a warmer day, those costs could be additionally, because you have to have those costs sent out ahead of time to get the sites. But for the most part, there's a rental agreement, a site lease, and then they cover all your expenses, expected expenses from there. But the electrical usage for, lights and so on and so forth is minimal compared to the heating aspect in the winter, your December.
No, I
January.
get that, and that's why it kind of makes me angry that that building was not properly insulated. Now on the mower, I did some research on the mower, and burning up the engine actually seems to be a problem with that particular model. It running hot, and then if I remember correctly from what I saw, the indicator that says it's running hot does not come on until the engine damage is already done. Now that mower is 7 years old, but it does seem to be an issue with that particular mower. Should you decide to go with replacing the engine, you may want to find out whether or not that issue with that engine has been addressed and corrected prior to doing that. Given the fact it's 7 years old, as long as the attachments would hook up, which I doubt, to a new mower. But if they do, it would probably be better to just get a new mower at a little over twice the cost of replacing an engine that this may happen to again in a few years.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm done.
All right, any other comments?
Just one for Missy. Could we, for the whole school board, have a copy of this particular meeting for our regular school board meeting?
Yeah, we'll
That's
get
it.
a copy of the minutes sent out to everybody by the end of the week.
Thank you very much.
All right. If there's nothing else, we'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second it.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for attending. Have a great day.